Thank you, John. My name is Gillian Moore. I'm the Offshore Consents Manager for the Dublin Array project. I'm going to talk about some of the detailed environmental studies that the project is undertaking, which include surveys, consultation, and desk-based review of existing data and literature. These studies help us to understand the physical, biological, and human environment in the vicinity of our project site. We need this understanding in order to assess the potential effects that the development may have on the environment and to reduce these effects as far as possible through sensitive design. For example, we have recorded over 20 years of wind speed data and have recently recorded a further 12 months of wave and current data that it augments that collected in 2012. Whilst these data sets are essential to inform the design of our foundations and the layout of the wind farm, it has also been used in modelling and assessment of the possible effects of the construction of the wind farm, the presence of the wind farm infrastructure on the wave and tidal regime, and effects on sediment movement. The work we have undertaken confirms that there will be no significant change to sediment movement, either on the Kish and Bray banks or at the coastline. Very small and localised changes to wave and tidal currents are predicted within the wind farm turbine array, but these are so small and there will be no effect on the integrity of the sandbank or the coastline. Our survey data also adds to the body of knowledge, not only of the physical and ecological environment of the area, but also of human activity. Our 2021 geophysical survey mapped the seabed, providing information on the seabed types and the location and profile of bed forms such as sand waves. This information is important for our engineering design, and when compared to earlier surveys, provides information on how the seabed is changing over time. The survey also identified 6 new features, which are potential shipwrecks, and confirmed the position of known wrecks, returning some really beautiful images. The one shown here is the wreck of the sailing vessel Gludonkey, which struck the Kish Bank on the 1st of January 1869 on her maiden voyage from Glasgow to Bombay. A report detailing the subtidal and intertidal archaeological surveys, including the new finds, has been provided to the Department of Housing and Local Government and Heritage. We have also undertaken surveys to characterise the seabed habitats and the fauna which the habitats support. Analysis of seabed samples also includes particle size analysis. The particle size is an important factor, influencing the distance that disturbed sediments will travel when suspended in a water column. Larger sediments will drop out more quickly as than finer sediments, obviously because they're heavier. Finer sediments also more readily bind contaminants as they are larger surface area to volume ratio. The chemical analysis undertaken across the site confirms that levels of sediment-bound contaminants are low across the area. Areas of cobble and boulders in the nearshore section of the offshore cable corridor between Killiney and Bray may indicate the presence of stony reef. The intertidal survey in this area also recorded the presence of potential reef habitats. Stony reef are important ecologically as they provide increasing seabed complexity and suitable habitat for organisms that would not otherwise occur in this area, thus enhancing the biological diversity. The cable installation will avoid direct impacts on this habitat, either by cable routing to avoid it or by drilling beneath it to bring the cables to shore. We've also recently collected a further 2 years of marine bird data, which adds to the information previously collected for the project, as well as a whole range of third-party data sets. The data tells us which birds are present in the area at different times of year, their number, distribution, and whether the birds are on the water or in flight, that is, how they're using the area, and if the latter, how high they are flying. Razorbill and Manx shearwater, as pictured here, were amongst the species most frequently recorded. Other species included gull, shag, terns, gannet, and guillemot. Monitoring data collected during the construction and operation of other wind farms is helpful to inform the assessment of potential effects on bird species. For example, Manx shearwater, auks, terns, and small gulls such as kittiwake show only a moderate sensitivity to disturbance from increased vessel activity, whilst gannet and larger gulls are not likely to be disturbed at all. One of the risks to birds from offshore wind farm development comes from potential collision with moving turbine blades. We are using the data we have collected alongside pooled data regarding flight heights for individual species to model the predicted number of collisions. Many seabirds fly close to the water, and the density of birds in flight decreases with altitude. Small increases in rotor height can therefore reduce the predicted collision significantly. Our recent design changes have included increasing the rotor height in our turbine design and reducing the number of turbines, both contributing to lowering collision risk. We have also completed surveys of marine mammal species and are undertaking model and assessment of potential effects during the construction, operation and decommissioning of the wind farm. We have committed to a range of mitigation measures to reduce the risk of injury and disturbance to these species, including routing of project vessels to avoid interaction with marine mammals, and we will commence noisy activities such as impact piling with a soft start, that is at levels that are not harmful to animals, and gradually ramp up the energy to encourage them to move away from the source of noise. Qualified marine mammal observers will be monitoring ahead of and during such activities to ensure that marine mammals are not close by. We have also committed to adopting at-source mitigation. Such techniques have been demonstrated to significantly reduce the sound levels that propagate into the marine environment. We've also looked at the marine uses of the area. Marine users include commercial cargo vessels and passenger ferries, as well as fishing vessels and recreational craft. To supplement data from automatic identification system, a tracking system carried by all medium to large vessels, to provide us with a detailed picture of all vessel activity, including small and non-AIS craft, we have undertaken a number of visual, observation and radar surveys over a period of years. The shallow waters of the Kish and Bray banks are largely avoided by larger vessels, which is a key factor in the selection of the banks as possible site for a wind farm. Smaller vessels, including those engaged in fishing and recreational activity, such as diving, sailing and rowing, do navigate the banks and will be able to continue to do so once the wind farm is operational. We have also consulted with a range of marine stakeholders, including commercial shipping and port operators, commercial fishermen, recreational groups, regulatory bodies and safety organisations. We have used the feedback received to undertake a marine navigation risk assessment, which has confirmed that displacement of vessels from their current routes will be minimal. We have committed to a number of safety measures, including routing of project vessels to avoid an area where sea room inshore the wind farm is already constrained by natural features, carriage of AIS by project vessels, lighting, marking and charting of the wind farm, and continued engagement with commercial fishermen and recreational groups, as well as the principal ports and government bodies with responsibility for marine safety search and rescue operations. There are approximately 40 potting vessels in the area which target whelk and a smaller number targeting a mixture of whelk, brown crab and lobster. There are also some activity from scallop dredgers dependent upon the abundance of scallop in the area at any one time. We will continue to work with local fishermen to ensure we minimise disruption and can promote the coexistence of the two industries as we go into construction and operation of the wind farm. The results of our assessment across an extensive range of topics will be presented in the Environmental Impact Assessment Report, which will be submitted later this year as part of our development consent application. Thank you very much for your time.